This is the first window from the chancel in the inside east wall. Jesus said to his 12 disciples, "I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who abide in me and I in them bear much fruit, because apart from me you can do nothing." From John 15:5. The top medallion of the center panel shows the symbolic hand of God, Manus Dei in Latin, blessing Jesus Christ below. The top medallion of the left panel displays two overlapping Greek letters, Alpha, the first letter of the Greek alphabet, and Omega, the last letter of the Greek alphabet, symbolizing Christ being with us for eternity. The top medallion of the right panel depicts Cairo, the sacred monogram for Christos, the Greek word for Christ. The bottom two medallions of the center panel show Jesus Christ and the vine of life reaching out to his 12 apostles and asking them to spread the gospel. Vines with flowers surround the medallions of Jesus and each of the four groups of the 3 apostles. The middle medallion of the left panel displays, from left to right, Matthew holding 3 money bags, denoting he was a tax collector, Peter holding 2 keys the Lord gave him to the kingdom of heaven, John holding a cup with a serpent issuing from it. Poison in the cup given to John by detractors was changed by God into a serpent that slithered away, saving his life. The bottom medallion of the left panel depicts, from left to right, Matthias, who replaced Christ's betrayer, Judas Iscariot, creating an open Bible and clasping a double-edged axe, the instrument of his martyrdom. Thomas, grasping a carpenter square he used to build churches, and Simon, cradling a Bible, supporting a fish, denoting he was a fisher for men through preaching the gospel. The middle medallion of the right panel shows, from left to right, Bartholomew clutching 3 flaying knives that symbolize how he was martyred, Andrew grasping 2 pieces of wood symbolizing the X-shaped cross on which he was crucified, and James the Greater cupping 3 scallops in his hands, denoting his many evangelistic sea privileges. The bottom medallion of the right panel displays, from left to right, Philip holding 2 loaves of bread and a budded trèfle cross, denoting his missionary journeys, James the Lesser carrying a saw used to cut up his body after he was stoned to death, and Jude, also called Thaddeus, cradling a sailboat symbolizing his missionary journeys by sea. This window is given in memory of Mr. and Mrs. George Elsa Phillips, Dr. and Mrs. John W. Laura Lewis Faring, the Reverend and Mrs. Eugene Rush, and Robert Rush. The donors were Mr. and Mrs. Elmer Phillips, Mrs. Robert Boyd, and Mrs. Eugene Laura Myers.